There is a city you see in postcards, the glittering skyline, the rush of yellow cabs, the electric energy of Times Square. It's the New York that draws millions of visitors every year, a city that seems to never sleep, always moving, always shining. But that's only one side of the story. Beneath that dazzling surface in autumn 2025, another city exists, one that most people try not to see. It's a city of quiet desperation, where families are forced to sleep in subway stations, and individuals seek refuge from the biting cold wherever they can. For many, the American dream has slipped just out of reach. This unseen city is larger and more visible than at any time since the Great Depression. Its presence is felt in every borough from the Bronx to Brooklyn, as makeshift shelters and encampments become part of the urban landscape. In 2024, New York State's homeless population swelled to over 158,000, with more than 140,000 in New York City alone. These numbers are staggering, and they continue to rise as economic pressures mount and affordable housing becomes scarcer. That's more than the population of many American cities, all without a permanent place to call home. Imagine an entire city's worth of people living day to day, unsure where they'll sleep next. On any given night, over 120,000 people, including tens of thousands of children, sleep in city shelters. For these children, childhood is marked by uncertainty, and the simple comfort of a bed is never guaranteed. It's a humanitarian crisis unfolding in one of the world's wealthiest cities, where luxury and poverty exist side by side, often separated by just a single city block. But this isn't just about numbers, it's about people. Each face tells a story of resilience, of hope, and of struggle against overwhelming odds. The single mother who lost her apartment after her rent doubled, forced to choose between food and shelter for her children. The asylum seeker who arrived with hope, only to find the city's resources stretched thin and the promise of safety replaced by uncertainty. The young person who aged out of foster care with nowhere to go, left to navigate the city's streets alone, searching for belonging. Each number is a personal story of hardship, a life interrupted by forces beyond their control. Behind every statistic is a human being, longing for stability and dignity. The crisis is now impossible to ignore, spilling into public view and challenging our perceptions of what it means to live in New York City today. It asks us to look beyond the bright lights and see the other New York, the one struggling at a critical juncture, where hope and hardship walk hand in hand. This is the story of that city, and the people living within it. Their stories deserve to be seen, heard, and remembered. For travelers stepping out of Penn Station or Grand Central, the crisis is immediate and unavoidable. The bustle of these hubs is now interwoven with scenes of poverty, people sleeping on benches, families with belongings in carts, encampments in parks. The subway, once just a transit artery, has become a shelter of last resort for thousands. Even iconic destinations like Times Square and Central Park reveal the city's struggles with people seeking help in plain sight. This visibility isn't neglect, it's a symptom of an overwhelmed shelter system. Visiting New York now means confronting the human toll of the housing crisis, a reality that adds complexity and sadness to the city's wonder. It's a reminder that in a city of immense wealth, many are being left behind. This crisis is the result of a perfect storm. Since 2022, over 200,000 migrants have arrived in New York City, straining resources and accounting for nearly 88% of the recent increase in the sheltered homeless population. At the same time, rents have soared over 30% since 2021, while the vacancy rate has dropped below 1.5%. Wages haven't kept up, pushing families to the brink, even those with full-time jobs. The end of pandemic-era eviction protections unleashed a wave of evictions, flooding shelters with long-term residents. These three forces, the migrant influx, the housing crisis, and the end of eviction bans, created a catastrophe. The shelter system, already strained, was never designed for this level of demand. It's a complex problem with no easy solutions, born from local, national, and international pressures. The most heartbreaking aspect is the impact on children. In 2024, over 50,000 homeless children lived in New York State. Nearly 1 in 3 homeless individuals is a child. In New York City, more than 50,000 children sleep in shelters each night. Their education is disrupted, their sense of stability shattered. Families struggle to create routine in crowded, unstable environments, often moved between shelters with little notice. The psychological toll is immense, creating long-term trauma. Many parents work full-time but can't afford rent in the city's hyper-competitive market. Homelessness among unaccompanied minors has surged 71%. Teens and young adults, often aging out of foster care or arriving as asylum seekers, are especially vulnerable. Their plight underscores the urgent need for specialized support and housing solutions. For these young people, the dream of New York has become a fight for survival. For tourists in 2025, New York is a city of contrasts. The magic remains: Broadway, the Empire State Building, world-class museums, but the homelessness crisis is now part of the landscape. Walking through Midtown, you'll see people seeking shelter in doorways and on sidewalks, a stark reminder of inequality beside immense wealth. It's important to remember, those you see are in crisis, not a threat. Outreach workers and security are more visible, connecting people with services and keeping public spaces safe. Visiting New York now means engaging with its complexity, celebrating its resilience while acknowledging the struggles of its most vulnerable. The city's beauty and hardship exist side by side, creating a powerful, unforgettable experience. A trip to New York is no longer just about the sights, it's about witnessing a city in the midst of historic challenge. New York City has mounted a massive response, spending over $4 billion annually on shelter and services. More than 200 emergency shelters have opened, including hotels and converted buildings. Mayor Adams's administration has launched outreach teams and expanded supportive housing, but critics say there's too much focus on temporary shelters, not enough on permanent solutions. Time limits on shelter stays for some migrants aim to manage numbers, but risk pushing people onto the streets. Nonprofits like the Coalition for the Homeless and Bowery Mission are on the front lines, providing meals, clothing, and legal aid. Food pantries have seen a 40% increase in demand since mid-2023, but resources are stretched thin. The city's response is massive, but the need continues to outpace capacity. The true measure of this crisis is its human cost. Every day, thousands of New Yorkers face uncertainty, fear, and the struggle to find a safe place to sleep. Their stories are often hidden in plain sight, woven into the fabric of the city. Maria, a 35-year-old asylum seeker from Venezuela, lives in a city-run hotel shelter with her 2 children, anxious about the 60-day limit on her stay. She worries about what comes next and how she'll keep her family together in a city that feels both hopeful and overwhelming. John, a 62-year-old construction worker from Queens, lost his home after an injury and now rides the E-train at night to stay warm. Once proud of his steady job, he now faces each night with uncertainty, clinging to memories of better days. A young couple with a toddler, both working service jobs, live in a family shelter, their income too high for some aid, too low for rent. They juggle long hours in childcare, hoping for a break that will let them build a stable future for their child. These stories reveal a common thread: lost stability and dignity. Each person's journey is different, but the pain of displacement and the longing for security unite them. Homelessness is not a character flaw, it's a circumstance, often driven by economic forces or health crises. Many are just one crisis away from losing everything, and the safety net is often too thin to catch them. Each person has a name, a history, and a dream of something better. Their hopes and struggles are as real as anyone's, and their resilience is remarkable. They are our neighbors, fellow New Yorkers facing unimaginable struggles. Their presence is a reminder that hardship can touch anyone, regardless of background. Behind the overwhelming numbers are individual human beings fighting for survival. Each statistic represents a life interrupted, a story still unfolding. Their stories remind us that the crisis is deeply personal. It's not just about numbers or headlines. It's about real people with real dreams and fears. It's not just about policy. It's about people. Solutions must start with understanding and compassion, recognizing the humanity in every face. Hearing their stories is a powerful call to empathy. When we listen, we begin to see the world through their eyes and understand the urgency of action. They hope for a second chance, a chance to rebuild, to belong, and to find hope in the city they call home. With homelessness more visible, travelers wonder, is New York still safe? The answer is yes. Despite social pressures, New York remains one of America's safest large cities. The challenges are humanitarian, not criminal. Police and outreach teams maintain a strong presence in transit hubs and tourist districts, ensuring safety and connecting people in crisis with help. It's important to distinguish between discomfort and danger. Poverty is not a threat. Most homeless individuals are focused on survival, not harming others. As always, visitors should stay aware and use common sense. The city's core functions and welcoming spirit persist. New York's resilience and heartbeat remain strong. Despite the scale of the crisis, there is hope. Every day, New Yorkers wake up determined to make a difference, and small actions ripple out to create real change. The visibility of homelessness has sparked urgent public conversation and a push for solutions, protecting tenants, creating affordable housing, and supporting all New Yorkers. People from all walks of life are coming together, demanding action from leaders and working to build a more just city. Visitors move to help can donate to frontline organizations like the Coalition for the Homeless, Bowery Mission, City Harvest, and Breaking Ground. These groups provide food, shelter, and vital services every day, and even a small donation can have a big impact. Supporting local businesses and learning about homelessness also make a difference. Taking a homelessness awareness tour or shopping at stores that give back helps strengthen the community and raises awareness. Challenge stereotypes. Homelessness is a housing problem, not a personal failing. By changing the conversation, we can help end the stigma and encourage more people to get involved. The most powerful thing we can do is see the humanity in every person. Acknowledging someone's presence, offering a smile, or simply listening can mean more than we realize. A simple act of kindness can restore dignity to someone who feels invisible. These moments of connection remind us that everyone deserves respect and compassion. New York's greatest strength is its people. When we unite, we can overcome even the toughest challenges and build a city where everyone belongs. This crisis is a test of that strength. It asks us to look out for one another and to never lose sight of our shared humanity. By responding with compassion and supporting those on the front lines, we can help New York remain a place of hope and opportunity for all. Together we can make a lasting difference, one act, one person, one day at a time.